Helps to have the camera on of the thing that you're doing. Anyway, I'm just finishing this. Good morning to you all, friends. Hello and welcome. Just doing a little bit of work on this chick. From Echoes of Death 3, I think, this particular girl. And she's called the Gladiator, which is lovely. Quite lovely indeed. And I have not painted her, which is a real shame. So I'm rectifying that situation. Good work, mate. Okay, she can dry, and I'll start working on today's main topic, this one. But before we do that, actually, here's our mission for today. Paint some of this guy. Before we do that, how about I just show off the King Death models I've painted in the last couple of days, and this chick that I finished as well. So yeah, finished her. She's pretty cool. Yeah, so I did these two legends. I do need more boy models, actually. So it's good to have a couple of boyos. They look cool. And then I've got Poison Partisan Ridica and this Jackal. I did her on stream last week, so yeah, did that. And then I also finished, I'm sure I showed these off, but I'll show them again anyway. Brave and Hollow. And this chick, I can't remember her name. There's a first for that. There's a first for me not remembering her name. It is Palion. Reaper Palion. So there you go. So that's some beautiful Kingdom Death models. My collection. Actually, I haven't updated my Kingdom Death collector for a while. Let's go do that right now, and you can watch. Just in case you are... yeah, just in case you didn't know this website exists. This website exists. And you can track your collection. Sort by game content. Recently added. What? Okay, I have her. She's not painted yet. I have her. She's not painted yet. I have that, and it is fully painted. I need to log in. Good work. Okay, have that. Not painted. Have that. Have that. Painted. Have that. Painted. Have her. Painted. Have that. Painted. Look at me go. Painted. Candy. Painted. Goth. Painted. Gatherism. I'm going to say painted. I've got one of them done. I'll do the other one. Faded Dagger Domino. Haven't assembled it yet. But yes. Pariah. Painted. Percival. Fade. I don't have that particular version, so that's fine. I have Badar. He's actually ready to be painted next after this chick. Arlo. Snow. Yeah, so now we're at it. So yeah, Survivors of Death 2. Own and painted. Partisan Ridica. Painted. Yeah, Dashing Reaper Palian. I only own one of those. Painted. Tachyon Nodachi. Okay, Jackal's painted. Eyes painted. They're painted. Hollow and Brave are painted. Very nice. Glow's painted. Ledler. So it's a nice website for just measuring progress and feeling a little bit positive about things that you've achieved. You know, there's lots of toys here. I should really paint Basara. She's one of my favourite models. Longclaw Lenore. I own Lolo and I've painted her. Yeah. There's a lot of these models I should paint actually. I should really get into a little painter scale Kingdom Death painting. Maybe a little crusade. Okay, that one that I haven't painted must be Echoes of Death 4. No, it is Echoes of Death 2. Yeah, I haven't painted that one. I've painted all the others. Rachel. Anyway, it's a good thing to do to measure your success, and so that is what I've done. All right. So yes, she'll be completed soon, which is delightful. Okay, Jack the Plucker. So this is a Mindworks Games release. I love Mindworks. Great figures. I just recently did their Oz, which is nice. And this one, I'm not sure if it's pre-release or already released, but yeah, this one they sent to me just in the last couple of weeks. So I think we'll try for like black leather boots, and then these pants. We might do a stripy. Could go for a very Harley Quinn, black and red. Then we got these black as well, so that's no good. Alright, so let's do Avaland. Let's do yellow and black. Nah. Yellow and red? Alright, maybe we don't do these black. Okay, so Alexa, airbrush on. Alright, if we're going to do red, do we start with purple? I'm kind of feeling like a little bit more desaturated palette, actually. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, I don't know when the last time I cleaned my airbrush was. Genuinely, I have no idea when it was, but I reckon it might be due. The last day, it has just started to do some stuff that's annoying. Yeah, I saw this model a long time ago, or at least a version of this model a long time ago, by it's based on a piece of artwork by Brom, and it is super cool. I think it might have been, let me think, Robert Carlson did a version of this. I think that's who it was. Dry this off. Cool. Alright, so we're going to go yellow and black for the fabric bits, and that'll work great. Alright, very good. So let's add some shadows to the yellow. Do we do that now, or do we do that after we've done the black? No, let's do it now. And we might use, I sort of want to use a dark purpley colour, but without it being super purple. This crimson's quite interesting. Alright, we'll do some brushwork. So yeah, good week. Obviously, happy Easter everyone. It's Easter Sunday. Alexa, airbrush off. It's always nice, isn't it? Easter, 4 days off, little break, little refresh. That's just not going to work, that colour, I don't think. Honey yellow. just have to decide which one I want to be the raised one. I think we decide that afterwards, so we'll just... I don't think the results had been announced last time for Golden Demon. Alexi, what a legend. Got himself a bronze. Which means, if you want to get technical, he and I are equally good painters because I too have a bronze. You can look up Demon Winner if you want to see that. I have a bronze. I'll caveat my statement with a few little caveats. First of all, my bronze was earned about 25 years ago. And it was significantly less challenging than it currently is. So in no way am I actually of the opinion that Alexi and I are equivalent painter skill. He is absolutely shitting all over me. This is actually the angle, but I'm sort of working on this angle as my viewing angle. So angle of the artwork, I mean, the first one. But yeah, David Aroba, Slayer Sword winner, very nice. G'day, new miner man. Yeah, I'm gonna paint it as Harley Quinn. Or I was. I'm not going to now. I'm gonna do yellow now. It's yeah, it's Jack the Plucker, a Gerald Brom piece of artwork. Alright, so I'm already hating everything about this. Hey, I've never watched it either. I think it's because I heard it was a musical. I don't want to watch a musical. Alexa, airbrush on. So we're just gonna we're going to start this in a different direction. Well, not a different direction, but I'm going to change up what we're doing. Oh, g'day, settle it down, buddy. Thank you, mate. That was a while ago I did that. Done a few models since then. Alright, so everything about what I was doing I hated. So we've switched. Yellow is a particularly challenging colour to paint, right? Very, very challenging. It's a great bust. It's very big. It's a very, very big model. Actually, all of Carl Rudick's models are bigger than you expect. But I love them. I've done a large number of his models. Some of my favourites. He did a really cool range of vampires in 75mm scale that I did a diorama for. I'll get you a link. Wow, it comes up on Twitter first of all. Crazy. It's been a while. Putty and Paint's had a brand new 7-stream streak. Thanks, no mana man. Putty and Paint's had a rejig. Dave Colwell's up to number 6. What a superstar he is. Where am I? I think I'm in the top 25 still. Am I? Oh no, I'm not. I've slipped down to 35. Well, that's just disappointing. How very disappointing. Anyway, here is a collection of my pieces, but specifically, this was the one I was talking about. That's all of the vampires from Carl Rudick on a very cool diorama. I called it Blood Moon. That's a cool name actually, Dano. Good job. Please do, mate. It actually lights up, which is nice. Shit, a brick. I've painted some models. Hmm. I should really get a photo of some of my more recent stuff. Apparently, the last thing I posted was about 2024. Yeah, that diorama is sick. You're right. It's great. Alright, let's use some of this. Okay. We're on an improved path already. There's a lot of models, mate. I have a very good memory for that type of thing, and yeah, even I can't keep up. Alright, we're back on track. Yellow as heck. I dig it. Alright. Alexa, airbrush off. Okay, so we're going to do these boots. They have been made for walking. Maybe I should do his face actually. And his hands. I'm trying to decide how much of Sergio's new Kickstarter I want to get in on. Thank you, mate. A lot of those you'll be able to find on here being painted. That's a cool bust. It is 10 years old, yeah, scale 75, that one. Super cool. Okay, I might do this. You love your swords, Snow Martyr Man. You love them. Yeah, that King of Atlantis bust was actually, I entered that at the Crystal Dragon, which is a painting competition in Australia, and yeah, I was told by the judges afterwards that it was in contention for Best in Show, which is probably the only time I've ever heard that. Yeah, Sebastian's a very good friend of mine. He helps me judge at, or has helped me judge at Crimson Brush. Yeah, I've painted. What have I painted of his? I've done Moonface, and which is the dude with the moon for a face. Crazy, I know. And then I also did one other one of his. Oh yeah, he's a great artist, Sebastian. No, that was Gav. Gav was on stream with me. Sebastian, he's extremely well known. Sebastian, he's yeah, one of the best in the world. Sebastian Archer. G'day, Paint Liquor. You have to ask me a question, I think. What about them? How do I feel about them? I would not, no. I don't think they fall under the category of diorama, personally. Dioramas, by definition, include scenery. You've got a very nice collection building there. Settle it down, buddy. Yeah, I would not classify it as a diorama. I do classify it as a very cool concept, as a cool model, but yeah, I don't think it falls into diorama for me. Um, if someone entered it into diorama, would I go so far as to bump it out of that category? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's probably pretty close. There is an open category. Paint Liquor might do us a solid and post what we're talking about in the chat. Kingdom Death had their Sasalele a couple of days ago, so and they released the model as they often do, which had absolutely no prior warning and is pretty out there. And it sort of defies conventional descriptors, this particular piece, which is always interesting. cool hobby. So yeah, the question is, does that constitute a diorama? Would you take that to a painting competition and enter it into diorama? And I am of the opinion that it does not count as a diorama. I'm something of a diorama expert myself. So. Pascal! He's a legend. I haven't jumped on his stream for ages. Well, yeah, that would be my recommendation to a person looking to enter that, is to actually ask the judges prior to entering. Just send them a link to the shop page and say, do I enter this into diorama? Do I enter this into open? Please provide me some guidance. And then it's not your problem. Then you can move on with your life. And have we got a painting competition coming up soon for the Discord, by the way? I'm smidgenly out of the loop. What's it going to be on? Yeah, I think if you look up the definition of diorama in the dictionary, I think it is exactly that. It actually requires scenery. That's a part of the definition of diorama. Cool. I posted a photo in the hobby Discord of my models, and someone gave me the potato award. I think it was Eric with an A and H. It's quite funny. I have had some companies send me models for free on occasion, but generally I actually just buy stuff. This is not a job for me. I just do this because it's fun, and so yeah. But yeah, this one actually, surprisingly, hey, I'll show these off Paint Liquor. G'day Hellgrat, just because you haven't, you missed it at the start. I've been painting my kingdom death. Painting my kingdom death. I got to figure out what percentage of my collection is painted. Every single monster model that I own is painted. I own a lot of Survivor models, and I think we're getting closer to completion. I've got about 75% of the Gambler's Chest narrative sculpts to paint, so that's a problem. I've also got, but I've made a point of doing my Indomitable Survivors and all the releases, new release stuff that comes out. So yeah, so that's good. But yeah, I haven't got Echoes of Death painted, so so yeah, Bada next to do. So I'm going to try and get my Echoes of Death, and then I'll have all 4 Echoes painted. And then I'm doing Bada and this chick, and that'll be most of the new releases painted. And yeah, and then I really should do Snow the Saviour. Should really do her. She's not done. Which one? The grey. This one is Percival. She's sick. I did a real good job assembling her, as you can see. That's alright. We can fix a myriad of mistakes in assembly. So yeah, tell Eric with an A and H, he can get wrecked. They all look better than my photo. And I yeah, I don't know if I showed this off, but yeah. She's fine. Did her in about 3.5 hours. So the feathers are probably the weakest part, but c'est la vie, such is life. Yeah, tell him exactly how I feel about him, the pest. Yeah, I think the 4 elements was one of my best pieces. It's definitely one of the ones that gave me the idea, or at least the drive to push towards big dioramas. Hellgrat, no, I'm in Brisbane, so I'm not a part of the Sydney Painters Guild, but I am. I'm pretty close with most of those guys. I'm judging this year at Guilds Inn, so but I know them quite well. Yeah, I don't need to keep stuff. Keep the memories, painting it. That's about it. That's all I need, I reckon. Yeah, that's Mossy. Hey, Moss. Coming here for a sec? Everyone just said they heard you messing about. No, I had it on to circulate the air. You can turn it off. It's got that air filtration. Say hi. No, you gotta say it into the microphone.
No, you do.
You do.
You do.
Paint Liquor says hi, Mossy.
He has the air conditioning on and it's 18 degrees.
You are a pest.
Outside.
You're a pest.
My shirt.
Thanks. Do you like this shirt?
It's a new one.
Is it?
I picked it out.
Did you?
But you never wear it.
I never wear it because it's in a weird spot. Settle it down, buddy, and no mana man. Say g'day, Mossy. Say hello to both of those people.
Settle it down, buddy.
Yeah, that's your...
A new mana man.
Yeah. New mana man, yeah.
Yeah, new mana man.
Yeah.
What are you painting today?
This is called Jack the Plucker.
Whoa.
It's a clown with swords.
It's very small.
Is it though? Compared to this guy?
That is tiny. It's like 3 centimeters.
Yeah, you'd be used to seeing that. 3 centimeters, hey? Funny.
Have a good one, mate.
Have a good one. No, so I do airbrushing, right? I do airbrushing quite a bit, as I'm sure regular frequenters of the stream would know. And I'm a bit of a fiend for not wearing a mask, which my friend Jared, who works in safety, is absolutely aghast at. But anyway, so I have an air conditioning system in this room, in my toy room, that has a function to just circulate fresh air in. Doesn't actually have air conditioning, it's just circulating fresh air. So that's nice. So I use that to make me feel a little bit better about my lack of masking. I won't be near Denmark, but I will be travelling somewhere over Europe over the next few weeks. Little holiday. Sweden's okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good from you. I enjoy that. Come on, mate. Sweden's got IKEA meatballs. Can't go past that. probably just call them meatballs in Sweden, though. Is this a wand or is this a dirk? I need to check the original artwork. I'll check the original artwork. Jack the Plucker Bron. Huh, I'm actually matching the artwork pretty close. I didn't realise that. Why can I not see this artwork? Just want the artwork. There we go. Ah, oh, that's cut off. Come on! Okay, I don't think it's a sword. I have done some box arts. I haven't done a lot. Part of my problem, I guess you could say, as a painter, it looks like it's a wand. Okay. That's the original artwork, in case anyone hasn't seen it. Yeah, part of my problem as a miniature painter is that I am not very good at pushing things as far as they can go. I'm normally, again, because I'm just here to have a nice time painting my toys, I normally just take things to a certain level and then move on. And so box arts, you really need to push them. But I have done some. Yeah, I did some for a game called Judgment, Eternal Champions. I did one for a Limbo Miniatures piece. Oh yeah, what was the failed lamp? I've definitely done two failed lamps. One was the moon face. I'd have to look back through. Actually, I'd have to look at Sebastian's page. Let's do that. Yeah, it would be interesting. I would, yeah, if I could push myself to do that. Oh, it's Cassandra. Yeah, Daughter of the Firmament. Persephone. I've done Persephone. And I've done Katsuru Otoko. But I would like to do this Magician. I would like to do Chief Tusk. Beachcomber is actually sick. The Goblin Gardener's new. Mother Luck, yeah, that's beautiful. He's a great man, Seb. He does some great stuff. So I like painting, right? Love painting my toys. But I get to a point when I'm had enough painting of a specific model, and so I move on. But what I've found is that even if I do move on, had I chosen to spend more time on the piece, it's unlikely that I would have been able to measurably improve it if I did invest all that time, extra time. Like the difference, you go from 90% to 100%, but to do that takes you the same amount of time or more as it took to get you to 90%. And that's not really a worthwhile investment of my time, in my opinion. And that's different for different people. Absolutely supportive of people who choose to spend as much time as they can on single pieces. Case in point, Mr. David Aroba, who just won himself a Slayer sword. That's amazing. The amount of time and effort he invested into the piece was astronomical. Not for me. Yeah, I'm around White Dwarf time as well. Love it. Love the old White Dwarf. Alright. And yeah, I have the absolute utmost respect for people that do that. Like you look at Albert Moretto Font, the amount of hours he spends on a single piece. For him, perfection is something that he is looking to attain. I am not looking to attain perfection. I am looking to attain joy in my experience. And that is a key differentiator for me and those wonderful artists. Good work, Tenno. Some of your best work, mate. Idiot. I try not to give out too much advice, That's actually a lie. I give out advice all the time. But usually what I do is I recommend people to an article I wrote. It's called The Psychology of Miniature Painting. And I would steer you towards that. Have a read. Just Google it, you'll find it. And the reason I recommend that is I think it's really important to clearly understand what your motivation is and your why. Because if you're hoping to improve or working towards improving, but you're doing it without a defined goal, first of all, how do you measure success? But second of all, you'll probably struggle to have the type of improvement you want because you need to have a plan to achieve that type of improvement. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. Giving you all my love, still looking up. I was on Figure Mentors for a while. Let me see. Thank goodness I'm the psychology. There you go. G'day, Xtab. How are you? Yeah, this one's actually a re-release from Mindworks. It's coming out again soon. Might already be out, actually. But yeah, this is a great old piece. I do highly rate Mr. Pascal Ruse, yes. Another person who streams a lot on Twitch, who's very, very good and has had an incredible trajectory over the last few years. I feel like my brain's not working today. You know who it is. What's his name? Mini Dan. Mini Dan. He's great. It wasn't JBT. I think it was actually Robert Carlson, Rogland's studio. I was just Googling it. No, it was Fabrizio. Yeah, Fabrizio Russo. Here's the Mindworks release. Crazy. Well, go on, share your Insta here, mate. I can't promise I'll have the same reaction. That's false. Lies and aspersions. The thing is, you catch me on stream and I'm just in my normal, relaxed, wind down version, just hanging out, painting my toys, having a real chill time. But in social settings, I'm much more of a pest. Very, very, I'm very, very annoying. Oh yes, the old fisherman from Scale 75. I've done him. Lancelot. Yeah, you've got some good fundamentals. That's what I'll say. You've got some good fundamentals. So yeah, people have made the observation that I'm very annoying in real life, but also very funny. So you do with that what you will. Fortunately, none of you have to deal with me in real life. You just get the very chilled, relaxed version of me that's painting my toys. Okay, so this line that I've done under his eye is just too dark. No, it's good. Like, good fundamentals is where you want to be. You can build on that. Indeed. Yeah, the colours part's probably the thing that you uh, learn the most of over time. Just colour theory in general. Takes time. Alright, let's hopefully make this look how it's supposed to look. Feel like it's a bad rap. I find it quite easy. That's probably more because of the way that I paint than anything else. Yeah, it's a really nice hobby. This is delicate work, so I apologise if I'm not really talking. Part of what makes people think that yellow is a difficult colour to paint is the way that we've been taught to paint. The conventional approach to painting is start from a dark base and then highlight up to a light colour. And yellow doesn't work that way. You can't paint yellow over a dark base. You don't have enough saturation and vibrancy. And if we break it down even further, and this will be a good little conversation. G'day, Mig back. This will be a good conversation for you. Settle it down, buddy. So, the number one thing that you need to learn, I think, as a new painter, is a thing called the value scale. And so the value scale is a conversation about light and dark. So if you were to look at a model, and let's say we're looking at it in black and white, if you were to look at a model in black and white and look at how light some areas were and how dark some other areas were, and plot those out on a scale where 1 is the darkest, it's basically black areas, and 10 is the lightest, so basically white areas, then what you'd find is that most colours that are very saturated, like intense, vibrant colours, sit somewhere around the middle. They sit at around a 5. And that's actually contrary to how our brain wants to highlight things. We think, okay, cool, if I highlight this, I add more colour, which is going to make it look more like the colour I want it to look like. It's actually going to do the opposite. Good work, Mick back. It's going to do the opposite because you have a colour that's at its most vibrant when it's at 5, but you're trying to push it up to a 10 so you have enough highlights. So to simplify what I'm saying for someone as a new painter, because I realise I've just gone really wildly off tangent there, highlighting a colour doesn't necessarily mean taking it all the way up to white. Sometimes it means taking it to the middle of the value scale, a 5. Yellow breaks that rule. Yellow is actually a colour that you need to take higher because it sits higher on the value scale than most other colours. Yeah, another good question, and an example of miniature painting being a little bit more of a challenge than it looks like on paper. Flesh, we generally want to paint it to a higher value because higher value is what draws our attention, it's what creates contrast. But if you paint flesh all the way up to white, then you get this very pallid looking skin, which can sometimes be okay, sometimes it can be what you're looking for. But most of the time, skin should look alive, and the way we do that is by having more saturation, more colour. So you want to have a skin tone that is more tending towards a mid-tone. And it's kind of contrary to everything that we learn. But if you go and look at some of the absolute best painters in the world, and you compare their figures and where their highlights are, like you just don't see them use pure white. They manage to create contrast without using pure white. Fucks me how they do it, but they do. Alright, what a fucking shit show those lines were. And I haven't even done the arms. Yeah, so it's a very long conversation, how to do it, because everyone will approach it differently. But let's basically break it down into on a model, you want to have areas that are close to a 10, and you want to have areas that are close to a 1. That's what creates visual interest, is having contrast. And so by having skin tone be sort of around 7 to 10 or 7 to 9, that will, like I've done here, right, the skin, if we look back at the skin, you can see that's the highest value. Now, I think I've actually set up a filter on this one so I can do this. No. Is it this one? It's not that one, no. Not that one. I'm sure there's a button I can press. Luma key? No. What about color correction? Sick, look at these cool colors. No. I figured out how to do this a little while ago. Obviously, it looks like I'm doing a great job. Yeah, X tabs. Oh, I've done a great job there. Turn that off, then, eh? Turn all those off, mate. Yeah, when you look at something in black and white, it removes all of the colour that's sort of tricking your vision, and it allows you to just look at the piece in terms of its values. And so I would recommend that you take a photo of any figure painting on your phone, put it into black and white, and then you'll get a better understanding of how much value contrast you have. There's a lot of different types of contrasts too, so it's important to note that value is not the only one. There's lots of types of contrast. We have things like temperature contrast, so warm and cold colours. We have colour contrast. We even have saturation contrast, which is putting saturated colours next to more greyed out colours. So there's a lot of different types of contrast. Xtabs use some very proper painter words in there. Let me see if I can break it down. Oops. Chroma is a colour or hue. So when we use the term red, talking about the chroma of a colour red. What other confusing words did he use? Yeah, chromatic. So if I was to put a highlight colour down right now, so let's say I take a little bit of this yellow and I add some white to it, and I place this here. So what we've got is a higher value area that's not as yellow, right? It's higher value, so it's highlights. It's creating value contrast, but it's not making it look more yellow. Correct. Exactly right. So the more value contrast you add, the less chroma, or the word that I use is saturated, but the less saturated your color is. And I guess important thing to note is that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? There is no good or bad. There's just information, right? So you have that information now. So what do you do with that? Well, if you're looking to create a piece that's very vibrant and colourful, you know that creating high value is going to take away that colour and that vibrancy. So you start darker and then go to a lighter, a mid-tone for your highlights. It's all information. I talk about this sort of stuff in classes normally, but there's no wrong answer. Is there? Well, there you go. Trust Xtab. He knows a lot more than me. Yeah, the thing I always try to keep in mind when I'm painting is the objective of painting for me is to make something look cool. I know that sounds super obvious, but the reason I say that is because sometimes we learn all these rules and we think, okay, I've got to follow this rule and I've got to follow that rule, and and this needs contrast and this needs that and stuff, and you forget that rule because you're so busy following all these other rules. So sometimes you just need to ignore the rules, except for that one, and just do stuff that looks cool. Speaking of rule of cool, this is a cool model. Now that we've got mostly out of the torture of painting all those stripies, yeah, non-metallic metal is a good example of there's no right way to do it really. Everyone approaches it in a different way. Well, if you stick with it, and I hope you will, and I say that genuinely, I hope everyone gets to experience and enjoy painting as much as I have. What you'll find is that you'll continue to grow and improve and learn more stuff and get better, and that's all wonderful. And you'll look back at that first bust that you painted and go, wow, that's shithouse. That's what we find. We find that things get better over time. No, that's a lot more scientific than I'm capable of for Xtab. He's very much blown me out of the water there. We should all go watch Xtab's stream. Yeah, I like looking back. I like looking back at my stuff. I think I've gone the opposite direction in the last few years. I've gotten significantly worse. But now that I've got new glasses, maybe that trajectory is about to reverse. Maybe we're about to start going back for the clouds. Okay, let's do a smidge of airbrushing. Alexa, airbrush on. Smoke? Okay. I have been paint liquor, yes. Look, mate, I'm secretly in training. But I'm not allowed to talk about why. But the glasses have made a huge difference, that's for sure. No. Not unless airbrushing is a superpower. I'd love if you could just show me where in the rules it says that, because the definition of cheating is doing something that's against the rules. So if you can just show me the rules of miniature painting, I'll be happy to retire my airbrush forever. Reddit, source of all truth. On the internet. Alexa, airbrush off.
Did you mean aircon?
No, I meant airbrush.
Shuffling the Gremlin Beat Velocity Bike Turbo Cross Gravity Racer Sonic Rush Thunder Thrill High Jump Harmony Wave Rider Beats Extreme Tempo Avalanche Bass Vertigo Vibration Skydive Synths Nitro Noise Rapid Rhythm Freestyle Frequencies Off-Road Oscillations Rampage Rave Surge Surfer Blitz Baseline Stunt Storm Whitewater Waves Cliffhanger Chords Parachute Pulse Airborne Audio Velocity Vortex and similar artists on Amazon Music.
Alexa, turn off the music. Alexa, airbrush off. You are on crack today. Ah, good stuff. Here's a fun one that I'm just going to... Yeah, that's outstanding, hey. Here's a fun one I'm just going to share with you right now. This one is one that absolutely changed my miniature painting in a genuinely real way. So I'm going to draw a little picture for you. This will blow your minds. You ready? This is a very, very basic thing that I didn't learn, right? So here is a face with some eyes. Got it? So when you're painting eyes, our natural inclination is to go 2 eyes right in the middle. Right? That will always look just a tiny bit off. And it's going to look stupid at this scale because one eye is a dominant eye and the thing that we're looking at, right, will always be to one direction, not the band. So if we paint one eye here looking at one direction, this eye should actually be further across. Right? Very subtle difference. But this one's further across. And so if you want your eyes to look right, particularly on busts, which are larger scale, you'll actually just have them slightly offset. And it will look much better. I am right. I know. It's a great fact. One of those just little subtle things that you don't really think about until it's in front of you. Alright, we'll be finishing up shortly. Nice little 2-hour stint. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure on the hat. Maybe. So I did say I wanted to do a slightly more desaturated colour palette. Yeah, he's got cool little boots. He's a cool little guy. We got Mossy singing in the background. I got a medium there. I got a little bit of magic mix there. You don't need it. Dreams last for so long, even after you're gone. I know you love me, and soon you will see. I was meant for. Cool. Alright, we'll finish it up there, friends. I'll be continuing this for the next little while, probably. It's a cool little piece, but I'm also right in the midst of some Kingdom Death love right now, so I might be painting some more Kingdom Death. But this is my last stream for about 2.5 weeks of painting anyway. My last painting stream. I'll have a couple more game streams over the next few days. Thank you all. I will catch you all again soon. Big Dano out.